Recently, I made a video about this microphone here, the Elgato Wave 3, and how I think it's one of the best microphones for beginner creators. However, I wanted to make this follow-up video showing you how to set it up so all your content and streams can sound professional. Before we get started, there's a couple of things I just quickly want to mention. The first of which is try to get your microphone on a boom arm like this, because by doing so, it means your microphone will be closer to your mouth and just overall sound better. And secondly, just to clarify, we're going to be setting up our microphone filters inside Elgato's Wave Link software, and the reason we're doing that is because you want your microphone to sound the exact same anywhere you use it. So whether you're live streaming or doing a recording, or if you're in game chat or in Discord, your microphone is going to have the exact same filters on it and always sound professional. For those of you that haven't installed Wavelink yet, you want to come to the Elgato website and find the downloads page, and then obviously scroll down to find Wavelink and then download and install the software. Before we add any filters or effects or anything to this microphone, the first thing we need to do is to actually set up our input gain, which is effectively just how loud the microphone is without any filters on, because if you set it up too loud or too quiet and then add filters, it's going to just get worse later on down the line. So to set up your input gain, ideally you want Wavelink open as well as a secondary program to monitor your level. So for me, I'm going to be opening OBS and using the meters in here to see how loud my microphone is. So in Elgato Wavelink, you obviously want to find your microphone input, and then you want to open the settings menu. In here you'll find input gain, and then we're going to change this slider so that we hit around -15 to -10 on the OBS meters. So for me, that's going to be around 11 or 12 decibels, but for you, depending on how loud or quiet you speak, might be different. To keep things as quick and as simple as possible, the way I'm going to set up the filters for this microphone is just use the ones that Elgato provides. So either they're built into the Wavelink software itself, or you can quickly download it from Elgato's marketplace. The first filter we're going to add is called a noise gate, and what that does is remove background sound when you aren't speaking. So you want to find your microphone, come down to this button here, which is the filter menu, and then choose add effect, and then go Elgato noise removal. If you don't have this installed, you'll have to go to the marketplace. So you want to come to these colorful buttons here, and then obviously open the marketplace. And then here you've got two choices. So you can either download the standard noise removal, or if you've got an NVIDIA card, you can download NVIDIA broadcast noise removal instead. I unfortunately don't have an NVIDIA card in my computer, so I can't use the NVIDIA one. So instead, I'm going to demonstrate on the standard Elgato noise removal. Super simple to set up though. The first thing you want to do is to obviously make sure that the effect is turned on, and then you want to come to the advanced options here, and this is your noise gate. In my opinion, I think these default settings are a little bit too strong. Sometimes it'll cut off the start of sentences, which doesn't sound very good. So instead of having this at 85%, I actually drop it all the way down to around 30 instead. Next up, we're going to set up an EQ on your microphone, and basically what that does is it helps to improve the overall quality of your sound. It increases certain frequencies of your voice and reduces or removes unwanted ones. The thing about EQs though is it's kind of subjective, and obviously everyone's voice, microphone and space is going to be a little bit different. So even though I'm going to give you some presets and starting points to work at, you may have to tweak it for your specific voice. So you want to head on over to the Elgato marketplace and download a couple of things. The first of which is going to be the Equalizer plugin itself. Make sure that this is downloaded and installed into Elgato Wavelink, and then you want to come to the audio section here, come to presets, and then we're going to download some EQ presets. Just to keep it simple, I would download this Wave 3 preset, obviously because it's designed for this microphone, or if you have like a higher pitch, more femme sounding voice, then come to the EQ for female vocal range and download that instead. After everything's been downloaded and installed, you want to come back to your microphone again, obviously open the filter menu, but this time add in the Elgato EQ. From here, relatively simple to set up though. You can just come up to the menu at the top, open that, and then choose the preset that you downloaded. So I'm going to choose the Elgato Wave 3 one, and basically that's done. Arguably, this next filter is one of the most important ones, because an audio compressor balances out the difference between your loud and quiet sounds. So whether you're whispering, quiet, or if you get excited and very loud, the compressor will kind of balance all of that out and not hurt your audience's ears. So to set up an audio compressor, you want to come to your Wavelink and then obviously add the effect Elgato compressor. If it's not here, go to Marketplace and download and install it, and then come back here when you're ready to do all the settings. Something I do like about the Elgato compressor is it has this kind of automatic mode for people that don't know what they're doing, but you are watching my video, so we're going to skip that and set it up manually instead. The first thing we're going to do is to obviously look at this waveform here, and at the top you should should see a thin black bar. We're going to grab that with this hand and then pull it down to around minus 20 decibels on these like meters here. And then once we've done that, you want to open the advanced settings and set our ratio at 4:1. Attack, we're going to drop that down to 2 milliseconds. Release, leave at 150, but we're going to turn off auto makeup gain and set the actual gain manually ourselves. So to set up the gain manually, we need the help of OBS Studio again, except this time we want the audio meters to be hitting between minus 10 and minus 5, which is a little bit louder than before. So as I'm talking, I'm going to increase the gain. And I think for my specific voice and the way that I speak, I need to add in around 8 decibels. And that means I'm obviously in that good range between minus 10 and minus 5. If you've set up your compressor correctly, your audio should now be a lot more balanced, which means you'll be able to speak at a normal volume or whisper really quietly and still be heard, or even move away from your microphone and your audio will still sound loud enough. After doing all these filters, your audio is pretty much like 90% of the way there now. The only thing that's left to do is to make sure that your audio doesn't like clip or distort or hurt your viewers' ears. So something we need to turn on is something called a limiter. Unfortunately, Elgato doesn't have a dedicated limiter filter in their effects panel. Instead, they have something called Clip Guard, which you can find in your microphone settings. So you obviously want to open your settings menu, go down to the bottom and then turn on Clip Guard. And if you've set up your microphone all correctly, you would have gone from this kind of neutral and bland, boring sound to something a little bit more professional and balanced and vibrant instead. As I said earlier on though, this is a super simple way of setting up all these filters. It's just the easiest way with everything that's inbuilt into like Elgato's kind of ecosystem. But if you are interested in going a little bit more in depth and learning about VST plugins and doing things a little bit more advanced, I made this video here going through my specific settings in Wavelink,